Hey, there we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it might be where you are. Welcome back to the live stream. Today is October 11th, 2019. And we're going to write a little bit of code today. If I didn't break my Windows. How's it going there, chat room? The JP guy, hello. Fierce Kittens is here.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Greetings, it's good to see you. Look at that with that first Founders badge. Look at that right there. I didn't think we'd have any Founders on this channel, and Fierce Kittens is one of them. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Did I do the dishes? Yes. Did I do the laundry? Yes. But who are you asking if I did these things? And I've broken. It appears I've broken my Linux install. Oh no. Go on. Save. Try and save it. Let's see. Let me finish saying hello to everybody. Job in PA. Good to see you. Good morning. What mischief? What mischief indeed. The Svava It's today's Svava's birthday. The more you know. Happy birthday to you, my friend. It's so good to see you. Fairy Wings is here. Code Bites. Hello. Bitter Pie Bill. Good afternoon from Europe. Good afternoon to you. Yes, we've all broken Windows. I'm continuing to break Windows. Discord had layoffs. Oh no. That's a shame. The Founders badge is breaking GiftBot for folks with the Founders badge. Oh no. Hey, CLW is here. Hello. Goran Howe. Hello, good people. Hello to you, Goran Howe. And Rambling Geek, good afternoon. Everyone is welcome. It's so good to see everybody. Look at the happy birthday emotes there. K-Pike with those emotes, but Fairy's sharing them. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's see. I'm going to try and restart my Linux virtual machine that we're working on here. How's it going? It's been 24 hours since last we spoke. Some interesting things going on out there. I want to make sure we talk about, we kind of we discuss before we get into our project here today, and while I'm trying to get the virtual machine up and running. It's taking its good old time. Hey, there we go. I got it running. So an interesting thing that I want to talk about. There we go. So the folks at Apple shut off let me just bring over, where is it? I was just reading this. They shut off an app that allows folks to see that, right, they're sharing the location of police officers in Hong Kong as they're going through and protesting in China. Now, I understand, the Chinese folks have a tight grip on the control of their country. The folks in Hong Kong want to go back to the way they were before Chinese rule, and some of the Chinese laws that are a little ominous, a little rough on them. But Apple going and removing this app, I actually think is a very good thing for the app economy. Thank you for the follow. Major Lift. Appreciate you joining us. And let me explain to you why I think this is a good thing for the app economy. What's happened here is, for the years since the iPhone 3G, we've been in this mindset that you must have an app on your phone in order to do a certain thing. And most innovations that have happened in technology over the years, going back centuries, have happened because of some sort of oppression, some sort of criminal endeavor, and folks have gone and innovated in order to get around government rule, in order to get around the law of the land. The fact that Apple is forcing these young folks who are trying to protest out of the App Store means that they're going to find a way around the app economy. And I think this is going to be a very interesting turn as to how they get around that. Are we going to see single-page applications, progressive web apps? installed on phones become a little bit more accepted as folks try to work around a little bit of the oppression from Apple. This I see angering and making a whole bunch of Chinese folks and Hong Kong folks want to get into and figure out how they can work around the folks at Apple. So that didn't go the way you thought. How did you think it was going to go, Rambling Geek? So like I said, I've seen, right, when you look back at it, people innovate to get around government control, right? The first use of credit cards on the internet wasn't used by Amazon. It wasn't used by folks that were trying to sell widgets or something like that. They were trying to do criminal endeavors here. They were trying to sell things, do things that weren't exactly above the board here. I'm not going to say one way or another that Apple was right or wrong for removing it. That's their own thing. Depending on which side of what's going on here, you're gonna have a say on this. I want to make sure that from a completely aside, from a third party point of view, I don't have a stake in what's going on here. But as a third party developer who doesn't build for the Apple ecosystem, these are folks that are going to want to build around the Apple ecosystem, get around them. So, all right. So there you go. There's my political insight review of the day. How's it going? Look at that. It is 10:12 here locally. Oh my goodness. So, let's get some music playing in the background. And today we're actually going to do a little design. We're actually going to do, hopefully, we're going to make our application look nice today. I know, me making things look nice. Inconceivable. Let's get some music. This is, of course, music to code by our friend Mr. Carl Franklin. And today, eeny, meeny. Let's try this one. There we go. This is Chartreuse from Music to Code By. It's music designed to get you in the flow, get you in the groove, so that whatever task it is you're working on, you can get focused and you can get it done. Rubber Key.
Rubber Key just resubscribed for 2 months.
Thanks so much for the resub. I appreciate that. And we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. This music, though, you can get your copy at mtcb.pwop.com. Execute the music command in the chat room, and you can get that link so you can go out and check it out. Thank you so much. Stelzy says, and then you have companies like Blizzard that don't want to lose the Chinese market. Blizzard, the NBA, the National Basketball Association here in the States, they're all running into issues where they don't want to lose the Chinese market. So they've got a... It's a crazy scenario here. The bionic beaver, yes, and look at how slow everything's behaving over here. Oh my goodness, this is not going to be fun if we have to deal with this for the whole session. What the heck is going on? Let me see here. Let's see if we can take a peek into what's running. Of course, Firefox is just decimating my machine. This is a thing that I think we all kind of live with, is the browser just goes a little haywire and crushes anything that you're doing. Right? Look at this. I already tried to log in, but we're going to have to do this again. Are you kidding? Come on. Come on. So, what are the advantages of running Linux in a VM opposed to dual booting or only Linux, says the JP guy. Asks the JP guy. Welcome, the JP guy. It's great to see you. So, by running in a VM means that I can have all my other Windows things going on over here. See, look at this. Why isn't this starting properly? Right? I'm going to do this again and it's not going to get anywhere. So, right, and I have OBS running. I have all my things. No. I have all my other things running here to manage and run the stream, and they run in Windows. They don't have as high quality equivalents in Linux. So I'm gonna end up shutting down this VM and restarting. Right? Let's Yeah, I know others are logged in. We're going to restart. All right, here we go. So, because of my situation, I can't be Linux on the metal. If I was running 2 machines to broadcast the stream, I certainly could do that. However, I'm a Windows first person. So, trying Linux, and it is a good try scenario to use it with a virtual machine here, right? Virtual machine means I can start it up. It lives in a little pocket here on Windows. I can just point to it and say, run that thing for a little bit, and then I can turn it off and put it away and go back to Windows. But if at some point I say, you know what, yeah, let's migrate, let's get to this, use this first and foremost, at that point I can wipe and put it directly on the metal, or dual boot at that point. Have you looked funny at Ubuntu yesterday, or have I angered it by installing NPM? You might not be wrong there, Stelzy. Am I out of disk space because of this? We were fighting that issue. So, hey, Coated Beard, good to see you. So, we crossed our 8,000 follower goal here. I'm going to be dyeing my beard rainbow for Dev Intersection, the Dev Intersection conference, and there will be streams from there that you'll see me with that rainbow beard. That'll be a salute to you, our Twitch followers. But every 100 followers that we cross here, we're gonna give away a sticker pack. We'll throw some other things in there now. I've got some buttons and the things. Dear Lord Ubuntu, you are a mess here. What is going on? Are we gonna finally get started? I'm worrying that this is gonna be running really slow. Let's see if we can get logged in this time. Right? I mean, I know my password, you know? So this is where we were last time. And nope. Oh, maybe we do get in. Alright, fantastic. Back to full screen mode. What do you think of that wallpaper? Oh, DD Walsh, you're late today. Waiting in line to... It's what time in the morning? It's 7 in the morning and you're buying M&Ms? There's a sugar thing happening there. I don't know. All right. So look at that. All right, did that look weird or what? Right? Having the Windows start bar appearing down here over Linux. That's kind of weird. You like the wallpaper? Never too early to buy M&Ms? Okay. All right. When will Docker support running Linux and Windows? Let's say running a web app on Windows connected to SQL on a Linux. Asks Goran how. Well, Docker does support running Linux and Windows. There are some crossover capabilities there. You can only run Windows containers on... look at this. I got to empty the trash in Linux. You can only run Windows containers on a Windows host. You can run Linux containers on all hosts. That's not wallpaper, it's just plaster. Okay. And that's the guy, that's one of the folks that works here in my home, drilling a hole through the wall. Something like that, cutting a hole. So, yes, happy birthday to our friend Svava Blount. Oh, you have an extra bag of M&Ms for her, Dee Dee? That's so nice of you to bring some for all of us. Janescu is trying to summon Robert Tables by saying containers 3 times fast. See how this works? That's a thing. M&Ms are tasty, don't judge. Not judging that they're tasty or not. It's just, it's a little early for them. Right? Hold on while I suck down some G Fuel and criticize having sweets in the morning. Yeah, that's a thing. All right. Lead fuel? No. See, don't go there. That's just wrong. It's just mean. It's wrong. Yeah, you're having problems getting those back. I'm gonna start a new session here. You know why? Because I can. And we're gonna go over to GitHub, github.com. C# Fritz. Actually, let's go here. Right into the project. So we've been working on this project. This is the Pixel bot that we've been building that handles and will manage multiple chat rooms at the same time from a single service. And we do this by setting up and managing actors. We're using Akka.net as a framework to set up these little actor classes that each have a little bit of business logic, but Akka will manage them across threads, across processes, across hosts, and over a network if we want to cluster and scale up this number of channels that we're managing. So, yes, it's Friday, DD Walsh. Absolutely, it's Friday. And we all love that it's Friday. Yeah, there you go. Congratulations. Thank you so much. And we're going to have a lot of fun today. Let me tell you, because we're going to start building... No, not that one. We're going to start building some animations here so that we actually have a follower train. Like choo-choo woo-woo train. Is that a thing still? Am I showing my age? Choo-choo woo-woo? Let me know. And actually start animating what happens when this follower train happens. Scale out, not scale up. You're right. You're right, DNNP. Thank you so much for pointing that out. Yes. When you want to scale out, you want to add more machines, add more processes to manage the growth of this. Or, if you want to run the whole thing just in a little Docker container on your machine, you can do that too. So, right, the idea is this is going to be a simple little application that we'll be able to put into a Kubernetes cluster and take it to... Hang on, I can do this. And if you want to put it into a Kubernetes cluster and you want to take it to cloud scale. That's a thing, right? Cloud scale things. Scale it out. Absolutely. So, you were killing space outlaws, Copperbeardy? That sounds so much fun. Goran Howe says, if I switch to Linux containers on my Windows machine, I can then run Windows images and Linux images in Docker. Yes. Yes, you can. Yeah, right, DNNP, that's right. Cloud scale applications. With M&Ms. Sounds like an appropriate Friday task. Yes, ship it. Ship it on Friday. Ship it real good. I heard that in a song somewhere. I don't know. All right. So we've done a number of things here to get this up and running and working. I still haven't written documentation. I need to write documentation. Documentation would be a good thing. We need some getting started instructions. What? I have this... No, that's not me with the echo. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. DNNP. I've already seen you in the chat room. Thank you so much for clicking through that follow. It's going to help us get to some of our follower goals here that we're so excited to share. So I'm going to mark this as an enhancement and help wanted. Sure, it's a good first issue. All right, there we go. So there's the pull request that Stelzy's been working on. We should do some minor deduping. I'm going to hold off on this one. And there's a couple other things here that, yeah, this is the big one that we're working on. I want to start building the animations that go with this. I think that's going to be fun to do. So, the JP guy says, well, if Microsoft can create Lean, a software that can prove math theorems. Hang on. Thank you for the value, Goran. Goran Hal, I appreciate that. 100 bits, and we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Thank you so much. Let me finish reading the JP guy's comment here. Surely there's going to be an AI in the future that writes documentation based on the interaction of software components automatically. That'd be kind of cool. That would be kind of cool. I saw an interesting comment from someone yesterday asking, when there's compiler errors, wouldn't it be cool if the AI would give you suggestions for how to fix those compiler errors? We already get a little bit of that in our tools, but taking that next step and having the AI analyze the error because it knows where the error came from, what the problem is, and it can look at the source code, have it suggest a fix. There's like some next level refactoring tools there that would be really, really cool. Maybe there'll be a software in the future that'll just write the entire software. See, that's right. That the machines building machines problem there. That's a little crazy. Closer to that than ever with the Roslyn tooling. Yes. Yeah. All right. So let's get into this. We've some of these things I think are a little bit further than we need for right now. Right, need to stop renewing follower webhook leases. So whenever we set up and we ask Twitch to notify us when there's new followers, we issue what's called a webhook, and we get a lease with that webhook that's for a certain number of seconds. When we're in production, we're going to request an hour, Twitch to notify us for an hour. However, at some point, we're going to go away and we're going to stop asking Twitch to renew that lease. We don't do that yet. We need to figure out when and how to stop that. But it's not necessarily a bug. But right now, our renewal is perpetual. Once we start following someone, it just continues to renew that lease forever, as long as the application is running. So we need to figure that out at some point. I think there's a couple different things we can do there to address that. But for how we're running right now, where we want to be able to just deploy this application, let folks sign up and start using the follower train from somewhere on Azure, I'm okay with letting that go for now, because we're not going to have hundreds and thousands of people using this and putting a tax on both our system and Twitch. We can come back to this one. I'm going to prioritize that way, right? So the next thing that I want to address now is the actual user interface around our bot. Not our bot, but our the thing, this follower train that we're building. So let me go into the project here. Of course, named after our friend, right? Our friend Quiltoni. Right? CD dev. Yeah. What do you mean? Oh, I'm already in there. My bad. Actually, I do want to be up one, because I'm going to run code, Visual Studio Code from here. There it is, Visual Studio Code. Of course, the free and open source editor that we're using to make sure that we can interact with all of our code and get some great IntelliSense and interactions, refactorings, all those features that you want when working with this. I need to unlock my default keyring. Thank you. You know what? Maybe we'll do some live share today so that we can let folks connect in and take a look at the project. That'll be fun. I think so. Let me start up ngrok as well. Required assets to build are missing. Yeah, we'll come back to you in a second here. Tough guy. All right, so we're going to run ngrok HTTP, and we're going to have it come through to localhost. Localhost 5001. So that's ngrok. This sets up tunneling so that this public URL 698A5CDE actually maps down through, and any requests that come into there will hit localhost 5001, where I will be running this web application. So let me open a new tab. Too big. All right, so I'm going to go down into Pixelbot Orchestrator. There we go. And I'm actually going to just start running it right now with the .NET Watch Run command. Now, this application is built using server-side Blazor. I want to make sure that we know the difference between server-side Blazor and client-side Blazor. Beer Chug. Welcome, Beer Chug. Where did I get that wallpaper? At the beginning of October, I went and fetched it. It was right. I Googled with Bing for Linux wallpaper or something like that. Right, it might be here in my history. Let me see if I can find it real quick for you, and I can provide a link for it. Show all history. Yeah, this month. Wallpaper. I think that's it. Yep, there it is. Wallpaper, bro. Tell you what, for you, Beer Chug, for you, that's not it. That's not it. That's Fierce Kitten's Getting Started guide. Why didn't it copy that properly? No, not paste. Copy. Nope, that's not the right URL either. I'm not getting my integration here. Right? I should be able to copy. Thank you, the JP guy. I should be able to copy and paste back and forth out of my VM here. And it's not copying onto my clipboard. Well, we'll deal with that later. So there you go. That's, yep. And there you see the bot is actually telling you exactly what that image is because it's an image that was linked. Isn't that cool? It is Fierce Friday. Yes, that's right. It is a Hyper-V VM. Yes. So I do have the extensions installed. It should light up and start using some of those things. Yes, Dan Roth did drop a good blog post about server versus client-side Blazor, and I want to talk about that for just a second here. Hey, good morning, Sean. Good to see you. So yes, Fierce Kitten's Uber Beginner Programming Series starts today. If you're new here, if you want to get started with writing software, if you want to see the very basics, getting started, check out Fierce Kitten's stream later this evening. If you're here on the East Coast, it's 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Drop a follow to Fierce Kittens. Can we get a shout out for Fierce Kittens in the chat room? So you can learn the very basics of WPF, Windows Presentation Foundation. Build an application that runs in Windows using Visual Studio. That link I dropped in the chat room is actually a link to her getting started instructions. It'll give you the ability to the walkthrough for how to install Visual Studio and get the tools to build on your machine. So let me drop a quick shout out there. There you go. So that you can click through and give her a follow, because it's going to be a really fun stream tonight. Of course, there's always fun, there's always hijinks, and she's recording and going to publish these over to YouTube. We want to support her with that because she's another live coder, just like CLW and some of our any other friends here in the chat room. So we'll get started. We'll be sharing that tonight. SourceGoot's another live coder. There's one. So can anyone recommend a good getting started on contributing to an open source project? You're not really good with ideas, but you'd like to help. Scott Hanselman did a video years ago on Pluralsight, but it's now free and available on YouTube about building it's on YouTube, and it's Scott Hanselman, contribute to open source. It was a real nice thing that he produced. I don't see it. No. About pull requests and how to get involved, how to get engaged. I did a video some time ago at .NET Conf 3-4 years ago with Maria Nagaga. Let's see if I can find that. Fritz, Maria, contribute to open source. I think that's what it was. Nope. Don't see it. Look at this. So much about me. Oh my goodness. No, don't see it. Okay. We'll find it and we'll share that. So there's different ways that you can do that. Thank you so much for the follow, Ankos. Appreciate you joining us. JAF1021 is here.
Hey, Ma! We get some meatloaf! We want it now! The meatloaf!
Get some meatloaf.
I never know what she's doing.
She's doing the thing, taking care of Dad and maybe making some meatloaf for dinner tonight. It is Friday. Good to see you. Good solution for... Oh, cool. Okay. If I want a T-Rex with Clippy wallpaper, there's one. Okay. Cool. Yep, Twilio Quest is a good one to try. There you go. So let's actually do some animation here. Let's actually get in and build and run this thing so that we can do all the things here. And what you're going to be able to do, because I've opened up, right? Yeah, Control-C also stops the application. All right, I'm going to Control-click on this. I tried to copy the URL, but whatever. All right, let me log into this. Attempting to connect to the server, out to auth0. Yes, log in with the Twitch. There we go. So I'm logged in. I have global admin privileges. I'm going to tell this to connect to my channel. Oh, here's the thing. If it restarts, though, it's going to... I'm going to have to reconnect. All right, well, let me show you the widget. Oh, my gosh. iPod K, thank you so much for the follow, and you just activated the train widget. Thank you. So the little widget here has a train length. That's some sort of a number. Has a counter for how long we're going to wait to try and get somebody else to extend the train. We've got an overall counter for how long the train has been running, and we'll show the latest follower. That's what we have available to us right now. Friends, do you see what I see? Do I need to do this again? I need to do this again. There we go.
Sharp Fritz gifted Jeff 1021 a subscription. Sharp Fritz gifted a tier 1 sub to Jeff 1000.
That's right, I did. Yeah, look, I gotta take care. I gotta get my mom a subscription, okay? I gotta do that. So here's the train. It's extending. Now, this runs, coming back to the comment about Dan Roth and server-side Blazor. So there's actually two different models to run where you can run the Blazor framework. And I want to make sure that we understand the two different models here, right? Blazor is a user interface framework. Full stop. It's components that you can put together that run using Razor templates. Sean!
Wheelchair Sean just resubscribed for 5 months. Thanks for reminding me.
Thank you. Are the sound effects a little bit lower? Let me turn it up. How's that? Is that better? Is that better? I think there we go. I think I had my volume down a little bit too low. So we can build these components using Razor mixed with C#, and we get something that we can use that runs inside of a browser. You can deploy those so that they'll run either on a server, right? Those components could run on a server, or they can be compiled and run using WebAssembly inside of a browser, or you can build them up, you can embed them in other applications when we start talking about using things like the Electron framework. And we build an application with Electron, right? Just like Visual Studio Code, that's really just a browser hosting a whole bunch of JavaScript and HTML. So what if instead of hosting JavaScript, it's hosting Blazor? Those are options that we can start to pursue, but you can run with Blazor components. You can build Blazor components that run right now, and they'll run on a server. They deliver a very small packet of information initially to the browser, and maintain a connection back to that server so they get information when things change on the server, or they make a request and it'll automatically fill in things in the browser. It's really great stuff that you can get started with right now and start building your applications. So, those are ways that you can get started building Blazor components, and as these new user interface models become available, you'll be able to take your components and deploy them to those other locations. And there's something to be said about building with good architecture, good software practices, wrapping interactions with interfaces so that when you do decide that those data connections that you're making from your components, you want to change them because instead of running server side, they're running on a client. That data interaction now needs to be through an API, through an HTTP client. You can swap out what you're injecting and your component still works. Really, really great stuff. UAB art. Am I streaming from Linux? No. I'm streaming from a Windows machine, and I'm hosting a Linux virtual machine here for this. So, yep, I'm RDP'd in so that we can connect in and work with it. So, much respect to the folks that run Linux every day. I personally do not, but I'm trying and learning a little bit here as we go along. Have I tried WSL? That's the Windows subsystem for Linux. I have not, but I want to spend some time next week with it. And I'm getting some information from folks so that I can do a little bit of WSL streaming in the next week or two before we close out the month of October. All right. So my little widget is running here, but the widget, when I actually want to host and present this widget to folks, I don't want all the framework, the user interface framework around this, right? And the user interface framework around this, the layout is, it's kind of lame. You know what I mean? I don't want to show that all the time. Is it me or is the music really loud? It might be just me. So, haven't looked into Blazor in a while. Is it still the consideration, or is it already in a state to use? It's in a state to use. Server side, they're going to finish the WebAssembly version of it, which is in a very good shape. The WebAssembly version will be available for folks with production support in May. But you can build components and use them server side right now. Linux architecture is really good. Unfortunately, there are a huge amount of distros that make problems for newcomers. I would qualify that makes a problem for newcomers comment, UAB art, with it makes it confusing for newcomers. You're right. It can be problematic for newcomers who don't know what they're stepping into. I'd almost want to see, as a recommendation from the Linux Foundation, hey, here are different considerations, different recommendations for distributions. You're brand new to the ecosystem. You want to try it out. You want to dip your toe in. You're not a software person. You're not an operations person. Try these distributions. You want to tinker a little bit. You want to be able to tune a little bit. Try these distributions. You're an expert. You're advanced. You want to be able to roll your own kernel. Well, here are the more advanced distributions you should try. And there shouldn't be any kind of distribution envy, right? Or mocking because, you're using Ubuntu? Come on now. I'm an old-time Slackware person. Now, don't do that. That's mean. Don't do that. Right? If you're a newcomer, probably just pick up Ubuntu and grind there, explore later. Yeah. Use Arch. Sure. There's all kinds of options out there. Let's support each other. Let's not knock each other down because of the tools we chose. And I'm trying to kill time here and see if this truly does, if we get another follower that comes in and extends the train here. Let me bring up the terminal so we can kind of see what's going on here. And man, that refresh tells me that my machine is stressing here. Look at that. So we got a couple folks clicking that follow button, and we extended the train a little bit. Very nice. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. So you can see here, right? These are connections where it's just right, each time that there's a second that goes by and it extend this, it's making a connection to the server and just updating that little bit here. That's what's going on. But you can see here, right, right, there's the post that we got from Twitch, right? 3.24 milliseconds it executed that post, that we received that information from Twitch, and it handled it and passed it off, and it sent out, right, information that there was a new follower and the new train length was 4, and Blazor was our new follower. Thank you so much for that follow. And if I scroll down here, we'll see, right, there's some other new followers that happened. So it's behaving properly, it's extending properly. I'm happy with how it behaves, but we want to put some cool animation in here. Right, so that refollow, we don't want it to trigger the train. Right? Thank you for the follow, Cooler09. Appreciate that. Because now, right, we've triggered the train, and somebody could unfollow, refollow. Just that little heart button that you see here above me on the video, you could be clicking and unclicking that, and it would trigger the train. So that's why I'm saying we need a little bit of light deduping here. Right? Remember the folks that were following us for the last 24 hours, and maybe even the last 3-4 hours, and if they're already in that list and we see them come through as a follow, ignore it. It's not a new follow, right? Thank you for the follow, Kelvin Duels. Appreciate you joining us. So, right, it's extending the train. Now, it didn't write the latest follower for Kelvin there, unless UAB Art click through it again. And I'm looking here. There's the post. Yeah, UAB Art did it again. That's fine. Just trying to make sure that I'm tracking and seeing exactly what's happening here, because I'm not paying 100% attention to it. But the train works, it does its thing. Now, I'm going to want to pop that out so that it's in its own window, right? Where it's not, it doesn't have all the stuff around it, right? So I can navigate to it directly and be able to show it without the layout. Part of me thinks I can do that with just passing something that says layout equals, right? Layout equals null, something like that, and be able to pop that out so I get just this section of the screen, which right now is just these numbers. And we're going to make it into something with images and cool stuff there. Because, right, we want it to be a cool widget that everybody wants to use. Especially our friends like Fairy Wings and Fierce Kittens and Imperial. And it was Imperial's idea to build this, so let's give her something that kind of looks cool here. And if I know Imperial, she's not going to want this to be a train of like little trains. She's going to want it to be a train of like X-Wing fighters that are chasing, right? Maybe the first follower is the Death Star, and the next ones are X-Wing fighters, and they're all chasing the Death Star. I don't know. Something like that. Why do I prefer C#? Asks UAB Art. And it's C# isn't spelled SEE, but it's actual CSHARP. When we spell it out, like my name here. Why do I prefer it? It's a language that I learned a long time ago, and I've had tremendous success with. I can use it everywhere, right? It's very flexible, and now it's completely open source and available for me to use wherever. Like I said, wherever I want. I can build tiny IoT devices. I can build desktop applications. I can build mobile applications. I can build for the cloud. So it's kind of like my American Express card. It's everywhere I want to be. So, why not? Medium Rare Ice Cream Jeff. Yo! Hey, good to see you, medium rare. I'll say it right. Good to see you, Medium Rare Ice Cream Jeff. Thanks so much for tuning in. The JP guy asks, what textbooks would I recommend to learn C# for different levels of expertise? So textbooks, here's the thing. Textbooks for learning technology are a dying breed. Because the technology evolves so quickly. Every year, you're going to see a new version of C# here. So textbooks are going to go quickly out of date. There's videos, there's training materials you can find on the .net website. Click the Learn link there and you can find some great material there. I agree, Code Bites. The best way to learn is to just start writing code. So, they should start selling subscriptions to a book series. Not a bad idea. Sample projects, code katas. Hey, Mary Jo Stabler, good to see you. Woo! Paper does not update well, but ebooks do. They do. So, that's the thing about this industry is you always need to be learning. You know? E-paper, that's a thing. Sure. 31 followers. Is that right? 33 followers from our next giveaway. All right, so let's do this. Let's see if we can wrap this with a button or something that'll pop it out right into its own window without all of the layout chrome around it. And then we can start talking about building images that will go with it, and those animations, and what an animation would look like. Thank you for the follow, Pavi Games. Appreciate that. And yes, you're a new follower here. I appreciate seeing you in the chat room. And you helped us test our little follower train here, Widget. You extended the follower train to 11 for another 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Circle 83. Hey yo, I'm doing quite good. And we're gonna move on with our project.
Do it!
I'm going to, Shia LaBeouf. All right. So let's do that. Let's start writing some code here. All right. Let me go here. So this is running. I'm going to leave it run here. Let me head over to Visual Studio Code. I committed all this stuff, didn't I? Yeah. Go ahead. Do your thing there. Select the project to launch. Orchestrator. Some projects had trouble loading. Blah, blah, blah. It always has trouble loading. All right. I thought all these things were updated, right? How's my... Let me check. Let's do this. Check source control, just to make sure everything's good. That .vs code file should be ignored. That folder, right? So, I don't have a... Why can't I see? Why can't I see the .gitignore file here? Nope, don't need to git pull. Yes, I am in Linux. I could do VI or Emacs, certainly. Let me open a new tab. Go up one. vi.gitignore. Thank you. And I'm going to ignore that .vs code folder. Whatever. .vs code. Right? So now when I do git status, yeah, it's just the git ignore. So let's... Nah, I'm not going to git add. I'm going to just git commit. And we're going to say added VS Code folder to ignore. Cool. Push that up. Fantastic. Thank you. Go away. All right. But I'm still wondering why I've got the contains emphasized items. Oh, emphasized. Hey. All right, go away. Yeah, everything's running like really, really slow here in Linux. Good morning, Relevant Jesse. Good to see you. What kind of web server am I running on the machine? I'm not running. So I'm running the Kestrel web server directly here. I could run Nginx or Apache and reverse proxy those requests in. So when a request comes into Nginx or Apache, it'll turn around and hand that request off to the Kestrel web server that runs ASP.NET Core. That's a configuration that you can set up and do, and I should probably show it at some point. Probably not today. But that's something that you can do inside of Linux and be very productive with. But I want to work on the presentation here of our user activity train. So here's the user interface definition for it. It's HTML, right? And it looks simple. This is easy for me to understand and follow as a web developer. But yes, we're going to format the HTML and we're going to do some animation. And we're going to need to get some widget configuration as well. Well, I think we're already doing the widget configuration in the train model, so I don't think I need that anymore. Right? I leave these notes in my files here so I can find to be like, oh yeah, that's what we need to do here. But I need to also say there's no layout on this page. Can I do that from Blazor? Can I break out of the layout somehow? Let's see. Right, is it a thing? Right, can I say... no. This dot... Ooh. So these are properties that I've inherited from my user activity train model. But there's also... Yeah, I don't see a way to turn off the layout. So, yes, ASP.NET will get you server-side generations and interactions with .NET. And you can run .NET on Windows, Mac, and Linux servers if you'd like. So, I don't... oh, gosh. If I can't run this... how do I turn off the layout for a Blazor component? Let's see if we can find something in the docs. Blazor specify layout? Something like that, maybe? Blazor layouts. Let's see if we can find something here. Right, because I want to be able to just... Well, here we go. To turn a component into a layout, inherit from layout component base, which defines a body property on the rendered content inside the layout. Use the razor syntax at body to specify the location in the layout markup where the content is rendered. But I want to change layouts. So there's a default layout. Okay. So maybe we have a secondary layout using this router component. Right? So hey, how's it going there, Brave Cobra? And, TBD Gamer with the founder tag, founder badge. Thank you so much for your support, TBD Gamer. So here's what I'm thinking. Space Cat, good to see you. I'm not thinking Space Cat, good to see you. I am thinking that, of course, but I'm thinking about this. Wow. Oh, man, I'm thinking a lot. You can use the at layout to apply a layout to a component. This compiler converts layout into a layout attribute. Well, I want to kind of conditionally specify it. Centralized layout selection. Okay. So maybe there's a way that we can turn on and off the layout by doing the routing. Right? Hey, Michael Jolly, good to see you. Yes, the Ed Charbonneau is here.
Oh my.
Good to see you. Thank you so much. Pavi Games had a job interview but didn't get that job because you need to learn more C# and also SQL. That's okay. Look, can always try again. Knowing that you have getting that kind of feedback that, hey, we're looking for a little bit more skills in these areas. That's actually good to hear. Gives you a way forward to find additional opportunities. Did someone say Blazor Power Glove feature to make coffee? No, didn't say that. So I think this might be a cool way to do this inside the router, so that we can specify our widgets have some sort of interaction outside of the standard layout that's here. No coffee. No coffee. So, all right. So let's try looking at this router, right? Which is specified way up here inside of the main project that hosts this, right? So, my mouse feels very, very slow, very janky as I'm going through here. I apologize. Let me see. It's either going to be components or pages. Nope, that's not it. And there we go. So there's the router. Found context route data. Route view, route data, default layout. So I want to figure out what else can I put on there so I can tell it. Yeah. What else can I do to tell it to find, right, to qualify and route to other locations? So I can specify different routes with the @page directive, providing custom content when content isn't found, route to components from multiple assemblies, and I'm already doing that, right? Check that out, because I do additional assemblies, and I tell it to go find this other assembly where I've got my widgets residing. But here I can specify the router uses route parameters to populate the corresponding component parameters with the same name, blah, 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 blah. Route constraints. But I want to put the route constraints inside the router table. No. Here. The router component enables routing to each component with a specified route. The router component. So here's what I'd love to put another found here that has some sort of qualification that says found on this route URL. We're going to pass along the route data that is all of that stuff except for that little bit and go to this other location. Cats like coffee. At least that space cat does. Where'd it go? Here it is. Here. I'm gonna. There's some space cat emotes going up the screen. That's a thing, and we'll do a fierce kittens emote going up the screen here too. Check this out. Watch this. It's too shiny. Okay, that's a thing. You met a dog in Ireland who liked coffee? Really? Ooh, okay. Maybe the easy way to do this, right? Because I want to turn off the layout depending on how you come into the page. Maybe the easy way to do this is going to be to change that widget's route that's coming in, because I can specify @page and a different route. So maybe there's a way I can detect what was passed in and hand off appropriately some value that says now layout is nothing, right? Because we had on this previously on Fritz and Friends, right? So you can say @layout this. But I'm not going to be able to change that because it's a directive up at the top. Hey, Christian Parpart, welcome. Irish coffee, nice. So how do we turn off a layout for a page, for a control, for a component? What if we have a second component that includes the layout and is the top level, and we have our main control. That's it. It's like code inception. It is. All right, follow me here, chat room. I think I've got this figured out. And call me if this doesn't make sense. User activity train layout dot razor. So check this out. Check this out. So over here inside of this component, right? So it'll be a page and it'll listen on that URL. But I'm going to specify here at layout. Can I say none? Can I say none? Can I say null? Or do I create an empty layout? I think I need an empty layout. Let's call it empty layout. We'll figure out where that is, what that is. Right, yeah, you're gonna get annoyed at me, aren't you? If you want to build up some experience in coding with C#, check out First Timers Only. That's a great URL for folks who want to try and contribute. Yes. You work on a Surface Studio. Ooh. Use WSL to develop. Couldn't survive on Windows without WSL. Nice. Very nice. If I'm going to have this empty layout somewhere, I've got to put it somewhere where I can reference it. But this project... Oh my gosh, Frank! Frank! You gonna read it? It's not gonna read it. Thank you for the raid. Oh my goodness. I appreciate the raid there, Frank. Hang on. Hang on just a second here. Welcome, raiders. My name's Jeff. We're writing code here today. Thanks so much for tuning in. How's it going, Frank? What were you working on over there on your channel? Half the people are already watching me. No, oh gosh, no. So good to see you, Frank. Frank's another one of the live coders. Make sure you check him out. Can we get a shout out for Frank? For F. Bucheros there? Appreciate that. Oh, so I have Pixelbot UI CS Proj that we're referencing. Aha! I can put my empty layout down here. And we'll be able to reference and use that, I think. Thank you, Rambling Geek, for the shout out there. Yeah. So if I put it there, then I should be able to reuse this layout component in both places. You're working on a text-based adventure game with AI eventually. Very cool. Very cool stuff. I'm going to have to tune in and watch that next time. Because I don't build games. And I'm always amazed and I'm always encouraged by those folks who have that spirit, that innovation, who can go and build a game and can outsmart their players. There's definitely something very cool to that, a special skill set to that. Me, I'm putting funny pixels on the screen and organizing them so they make people smile. So, okay, let me take a look. Is this also, well, maybe I need to go back to that route component, right? No, it wasn't that one. Was it the app? Yeah, here. Right, additional assemblies. It's looking in standard features, screen widgets, chat room assembly. So it's looking for that. Right, I also want to have it look in. How am I going to have it specify? Right? No, not the test. Where'd the user interface one go? Pixelbot UI. This one here. So let me say Pixelbot UI.base widget model. Pixelbot UI base widget model. Yeah, that'll do. Assembly. Oh my goodness. Graham Weldon! Thanks so much for the host. 13 viewers coming over. It's a raid. Hello there, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you joining us. Graham, thank you so much for the raid. Graham's another live coder. How's it going? What were you working on over there on your channel? Raiders, my name is Jeff Fritz, and we're writing a little bit of code here. We're using Linux with C#, .NET Core, Blazor, and we're building a follower train widget that's going to run in the browser. We're going to do a little CSS animation with this in just a minute here, so that we've got this little widget that'll crawl across the screen as it counts down time for another person to follow us. Oh, thank you, Graham. That's very kind of you to say. Linux is your home field. Impressive. Very cool. All right. I get it. So, to the rest of the folks on the raid.
Greetings, my excellent friend.
Greetings. It's so good to see you. I appreciate you sticking around with us, and I hope you learned something. Please, any questions? This is an AMA stream. Any questions are always welcome here. Ask me anything, and if I can't help you, somebody in chat can help you. And as you've seen, like we did yesterday, we'll even throw together demos and we'll explore code to answer your questions along the way. Brave Cobra's been using Linux since 1997. Impressive. Quite impressive. Pavi Games, not a total beginner, but still, best way to learn is to create projects. Yeah, there's no guilt, there's no shame in breaking things as you're writing software, right? That's why we have source control. Break things. But when you do have something that works, save it, commit it, share it in source control, someplace isolated that you can't inadvertently continue to break. And then go back to breaking things and figuring out the next bit. And when you have it working, save it, commit it into source control so you see, here's just the change we needed between those two things. And all the figuring out stuff I took care of on my own on the side. Always learn, right? In Glengarry Glen Ross, they said ABC, right? Always be closing. When reference to folks that are selling, absolutely. Always be closing. Close those sales. In technology, ABL. Always be learning. Always be learning. The only constant in this industry is change. That's my professor, Stan Ungst, at Penn State University. Always said that. The only constant in this industry is change. Be ready. It's coming. All right. So I'm going to add down here in this project, I'm going to add a no layout. Do I need a no layout layout? Hang on. Let me look up here. We've got, so not the actors. I'm not looking for the actors right now. So in my app Razor, it says the default layout is type main layout. I don't see main layout. Is it under shared? There it is. So the main layout has all this content and an at body down there. And I'm going to change this out. Oh, always be coding. That's another good one, Snoopaloopy. Yep. Heading to bed. Take care, Graham Weldon. So good to see you. Thanks so much. Yes, first timer relates to working first time on an OSS project on that first timers only site. Yep. So, okay. If I have this layout, so I could actually put an empty layout here. Well, it doesn't. I need to put it somewhere that's going to be shared. You know? So hopefully if I put empty layout down here and all it does is inherit component base and has at body, we're in good shape. Right? In fact, I'm going to cheat and just copy all this real quick. New file, empty layout.razor. Right? I'm going to start off pasting everything in here, but I'm going to get rid of all of that stuff. So it's just the body, right? And this at body statement, all that's doing is saying dump the contents of the component here. Now, why am I getting red lines? Look at how jumpy my mouse is. Are we missing a directive or assembly reference? I don't know. Am I? I am. We're going to need some of the same using statements in same components down here. You know what? I wonder if it's that smooth scrolling stuff that we tried to turn on. And it's just, yeah, let me try and turn these off. Right, because my mouse is so jumpy. Alright, so there's ASP.NET. And I'm going to add in those other two references. That now should give me a little bit here. You're welcome, Hassim Cal, 2009. I'm not sure which advice I gave you, but you're welcome. Yeah, hardware acceleration is... Right, hang on, let's do this. Let's click you up here. Let's take a look-see. Real quick. Memory's fine, 4 virtual processors. Not configured to enable processor resource controls. No, we're giving it all we got. Firefox on my main machine here, though, is chewing up memory like it's nobody's business. I've got several Firefoxes open, it looks like. Can I get rid of some of these? Nope. Nope. I can get rid of that. No. Tell you what, we're gonna just kill Firefox altogether and restart it. There's a second Firefox still running out here. Ah, there it went. Fantastic. No, I'm a little bit better in here. But I'm definitely feeling memory pressure. Well, a good bit of that is OBS. Kill -9, no more CPU time. No. Thank you for the follow. DTO0V, welcome. What the? Well, there's a problem. Don't need that. I'm just finding a couple of extra apps that are open here that I don't need right now. Alright. Well, that was neat. Not what I wanted. Let me reopen Firefox. I need to be able to see the dashboard for Twitch. Here we go. So I need to shut off the layout. I want to be able to turn off the layout when I'm on a page appropriately. Right? And we used to be able to do that in Razor, but it's just right inside of here. Yeah, I need more than one layout. So what I have this, and if I specify a layout here, when you navigate to it, right, you're going to get whatever that layout is. If this is called and referenced inside of another page, you're not going to get that layout. Right? Might talk about tech industry. Oh, you're welcome, Miss MCal. You're very welcome. So this looks like it's now behaving appropriately. It's got all the things it needs, and that's referencing it properly. So now what I can do inside this page, right? I don't have to specify a layout. It'll just take the default layout. But here, I don't want to just go to widgets train channel name. No, let's do that. But over here where I've got, and I want to kind of show it in what'll eventually be my entire designer UI, right? Widgets design train, something like that. What I can then do is just say user activity train. And it'll include in reference that other widget here. I'm going to need to pass the channel name in there. And I should be able to do it like this. I should be able to do that. I think that'll work. What do you mean you don't know what that is? Oh, I need to I got it. I need to receive that channel name property, right? So this is going to be a public string channel name get set. Right, so now I should be able to pivot back and forth between them. So now it knows what channel name is. This should be injected and received from there. Right? Is there a thing? No. Okay. Let's give it a shot. Let's see if this is doing properly what I think it's going to. Waiting for files to change. The files did change. Let's go. Rerun that. Let's see what it does. So I have an outer layout that turns everything off. Empty layout could not be found. What do you mean you can't find it? It's right there. So maybe I have an imports here that should hit that. It doesn't include a using. Fine. Pixelbot UI. Now do you find it? Huh? Huh? No. Let's see if it does that. Here we go. Let's see. No. Still can't find empty layout. Empty layout.razor. It's right there. So do I need to specify the entire thing? What would be nice right now, Ultramark? Right, so that's Pixelbot UI. No, it doesn't see it. Oh! We could do that. Let's do that. We've been trying to run ads a little bit here just to see if we can start to make some of the pre-roll disappear here. So I'm going to run a 30-second ad while I'm trying to figure out why I can't get this layout to load. For those of you that are subscribers, you won't see the ad. For those of you that are subscribers, you will not see the ad. For those of you that are not, I'll move into the corner and you should get a little picture-in-picture here thing for the next 30 seconds. Thanks for the reminder, Ultramark. We'll see you in just a minute. Not even a minute, 30 seconds. Here we go. So, why won't the layout find this in the other project down here? Is there something? Oh, you know what? I bet you it's not picking up that this is a Razor class library. Right, I think I need to have some other things in there. Yeah, Microsoft.net.sdk.razor. And it'll pick up and see those, I think, is what I'm looking at. Hey, welcome back from the advertisement. How's it going there, friends? So if I make this .razor here, right? I need the Razor Lang version in here also. Okay. And excuse me. Drop that in. This is painful how jumpy this is, but I've got so many things running on my machine right now. How are desktop apps these days? Is it worth creating them? I've been thinking about that before, like in C#. Puffy Games. Desktop applications are very strong. Lots of folks use them. It's absolutely something that you can try. You can do. And our friend Fierce Kittens is going to be hosting a Get Started Building Your First Desktop Application tutorial for absolute beginners starting this evening and on Friday nights for the next few weeks. We'll see how far along, how much folks enjoy watching that. But I'm very excited for her in this new series that she's starting. So I don't get, what's the error here? The build failed. Fix the build errors. Well, what broke? What? I'm looking for a red error here. I don't see one. I see tons of warnings. No. There it was. Using the generic type base widget model requires one type argument. In app.razor. Okay. So this is a generic type. So I need to, inside of app razor, when I referenced it, to tell it, hey, go look in these other files also. Let's just say object. Maybe that'll work. Just kind of stuffing something at it. So let's scroll down here to the end. Yeah. See if it builds now. Looking bad. Object cannot be used as type parameter T in the generic type, blah, blah, blah. Fine. Yeah, I tried throwing an object in it, but there's a constraint on that type, right? It has to be an I feature. So, do I even need it to look? I do need it to look in here. Let's see what happens if I remove this, because there isn't any thing that it's routing to in there. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you're right, Code Bytes. Hey, there we go. That's a ton of warnings, but I'll live with it. I'll live with it for right now. So let's .NET Watch run so that it runs. Fine. There it is. It's running now. Let me go back over to the browser and reload the page. I'm going to have to reconnect to the appropriate thing here. Thank you for the host, Copper Beardy. Let's see. Go ahead. Reload that. Nothing. Now I've done it. Okay. Current channels. C# Fritz. Joined, now tracking followers. Fantastic. So if I go right to the widget. There we go. That's actually kind of what I wanted to see. Check this out, right? Because inside my app tag, there's my span for the counter, span for time remaining, duration, right? It's got literally no formatting with it because I don't have any CSS or anything to go with it. So, Pyathlon says, I work in the medical field and almost everything is a desktop app. Patient data security makes admins cautious of using anything web-based. Very good point there. There's definitely something to be said about constraints and keeping things inside of the firewall, protected and not going out across the web. Okay, so I have that. So now does my it's using properly that other layout that has nothing to it. So now if I go and I change and I go to this one, widgets design train, right? Widgets design / train. This should include and appear in the layout. Now, thinking out loud. For the train for my channel, if I open another browser, it doesn't remember the state, right? The state is temporal with the browser, right? It stays with the browser. So if I refresh the page, it's gonna forget whatever that state is for this. So you're gonna have a problem when you change scenes in OBS, and you go to another scene where it's not right. If it reloads the content, it'll forget what that last state was. Why would a web-based application hosted inside your firewall be less secure than an executable? It's going across the network to fetch and do all the interactions. But an executable still is going to save at some point data across the network into a database. And that can be encrypted, SSL, those types of things. There's also, yes, web apps can be used offline. Desktop apps do feel more secure. There's also something to be said for just the amount of network traffic that you're sending back and forth. So, okay. So I've got my two layouts. That's fine. Now I can come through and actually start making this appear and doing something cool with it. But I think at some point we do need to take our model here that's living behind the scenes. And right, there's the business logic that we wrote. Store a list of the followers so we don't, right, that's the deduping we need to do. Here's the other events that we need to be able to handle for new subscribers and new cheers when we start tracking those for this train. But the state of the train, I feel like we need to save that state at some point. Maybe every time there's a new follower, save the state so that if there's a reload and we need to reload the state from somewhere, we can go get, here's the last state of the train to be able to show that. You're right, Alpha 202. You're right. That's a very good point. Having a web app makes it easier for someone less qualified to accidentally open a hole in the firewall, making it available outside. A desktop app, you're going to be able to lock down and you're not going to be on port 80 for the interactions with your database and your data stores. Very good point there. So at some point we need to persist this state to help with reloads. Is that Jill's Mustang? Welcome. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate you tuning in. And you just helped us test, there it is, our follower train widget. So that'll tick and move along here for a little bit. Welcome. It's great to, and I look forward to seeing you in the chat room, Jill's Mustang. Now, Jill, is your Mustang, is that the car or is that the horse? Let me know. Because there's some horses wandering around. You can hear them. They're on the other side of the browser. Something like that. Let me know. Having a desktop app means a vulnerability in your code can allow someone to take over the local computer. Browsers offer an additional layer of sandboxing. Yeah. You like the car Mustang? Used to have one. Very cool. I'm a big fan of the Ford Mustang. Love that car. The Shelby Mustang. Oh, beautiful car. And the noise that engine makes when you lay on the gas. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my gosh. What an experience. I was looking at either getting a Mustang or a Dodge Charger. And last time I was in Florida, for my rental car, they said, well, we can give you a muscle car for $15 extra. It's like $15 extra a day. So that's an extra $50 for my stay. And they gave me a Dodge Charger for the week. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I had so much fun with that car. And now I'm like, I gotta buy one. What if you're creating a web browser? If you're creating your own web browser, there's something to be said about the level of technical expertise to write your own web browser. If you're writing your own web browser, you better be darn sure that you know how to manage memory space and all that stuff. So be very careful when you say, hey, I'm going to write my own web browser. Oh my gosh, DJ Martin. Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you joining us and bringing your Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much. And we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. Thank you so much. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch account. That'll become a Twitch Prime account. You'll get to subscribe to one channel each month free. If you decide to bring your Twitch Prime sub here, not only will it remove the advertisements, you'll get 17 emotes, and you'll get to throw emotes at my face whenever you write emotes in the chat. Thank you so much for that. Oh, and we'll make a donation to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital this quarter. You have a friend that has a 2007 Shelby GT 500 and the 1967? Oh man, those are some beautiful cars. Beautiful cars. Watching that movie, Gone in 60 Seconds, and the damage that happens to that Shelby Mustang at the end, the first time I saw it, I cried. I literally wept. Like, come on, man! Serenity OS, the one-man show, is a beast in the best sense of the word. That fella not only wrote a web browser, but the kernel OS underneath it all. Zhayang, if you can do that, then you've got the credibility to build that kind of thing. It is not a simple task to do. Kyle80 asks, is the smile sad indicator at the bottom of the stream sentiment analysis? Yes, it is. And I actually have a command for that. There you go. All right. So there's a little bit of information about it. So, all right, let's start doing some animations. Let's start doing something cool with this to show that, yes, there's something here for this follower train. Now, we've been doing this as a train. I've been referring to this as a train. I feel like the first animations that we should do for this should be little train cars. Right? You're using Linux Mint 19.3. So I'm kind of cheating, Jill. This is Ubuntu 18.04 running in a VM on top of Windows. So I'm learning a little bit here and about Linux and finding my way around as we're writing C# and .NET here. Train with wagons added to the train. All right, so let's see if we can find, right? Oh, I'm not on DuckDuckGo here. DuckDuckGo is my preferred. No. Oh, thank you, Verizon. I appreciate you hijacking. Thank you. Yes, add DuckDuckGo to Firefox, please. I want my DuckDuckGo. Thank you. Start searching. I'd like to. Thank you. DuckDuckGo, it's a privacy-first search engine. But it also lets me do cool things like exclamation point image and search for images. See? Images. And I want to look for a toy train clip art. See if we can find something there. You dumped Windows 10 8 months ago. Fantastic. That's great. If that works out for you, more power to you. There is definitely something to be said about that. I'm a little bit more entrenched with Windows. That looks pretty good. That's not bad. And getting the little train cars to add on to it. I love the little toys on it, but that could work right there. Oh, and it's got a watermark on it. Womp womp. That's not bad. And more clip art watermark. I'm being cheap and avoiding buying an image just because. There we go. That'll work. Free image on Pixabay. Terrific. So I should be able to save this and start cutting it up so we can add the little train cars along the way here. Profile image. Windows 10 was not working well with your hardware. You have an older Dell Precision workstation and you're not ready to upgrade. Well, fair enough. Fair enough. SVG trains. I think this is a nice choice, right? We're not going to have giant images going across. So let me save this image locally. Oh, I can't see the top because of the, my webcam is covering the top of this. Really? All right. Can I just call this train PNG? Okay. Now, do I have GIMP installed here? Please tell me I have GIMP installed. I like GIMP. I don't see it. I'm not feeling... No. There it is. Yes. That. Gimme. Hey, Twitchloft, good to see you. Code Bites, you like the one I chose? Thank you. Or was there another one that you thought? Fifth on top was another comment. On the top row. Fifth across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not bad, too. That's pretty good. We would need to build the train cars to go with it, but that's not bad. Codebase Alpha. Welcome. Codebase Alpha is another one of the live coders. You're right, Jill. I just learned that the hard way. That GIMP doesn't come pre-installed with Ubuntu. So we're installing it now. Go get it.
Hello? Hello? Anybody home?
Yes.
Hey, think would fly. Think.
I am, and I'm installing it now, okay? So, here we go. Let's do this.
Oh my.
Quickly running out of disk space here. Examine. See if there's anything that it can do to clean up things. And it's just running so slow. I'm running inside of a VM and I've got so much other stuff running here. GIMP is a must for photo editing. You know what, Jill? You're right. I'm a big fan of using it. Even though I'll use Paint.net in Windows, I would much rather. Ooh, that's pretty. I'd much rather use GIMP to do editing. 4 gig over there. 3. How do I know what I can remove? There's 14 meg in the temp folder. Right? It's like I want to clear junk up out here. What's in lib? Modules. Ooh. Right? There's like stuff here that I don't want to touch. You know? 3.3 gig in the home folder. There's got to be something there I can wipe. Holy crow, NuGet, you're killing me here. And the .vs code for extensions. Ah. Well, there's our first problem. Okay, so C# is almost half a gig here. Can we trim that down a little bit? Oh. So there's two versions of OmniSharp sitting there. Well, let's get rid of the older one. Right? I mean, I just freed up how much space? Is there anything else? Right, so there's 3 gig .NuGet. There's got to be stuff in there I can get rid of. Right? What are the big dogs in here? System runtime. Right? Why do I have 2 of those? Show me more. I don't want to scroll back and forth. Right? It'd be nice if I could say, you know, scrub the old ones that I'm not using. Because, damn. Right? Wait, what's this view? Ugh. But, right, clearly my NuGet packages here are crushing here. Stop writing in C# and I'll get it. No. Yeah, those VS Code extensions are killers. Launch GIMP. Fantastic. And let me see. Right, can I go back over here to files and can I empty the trash? Get some space back. Yes, I know. Goodbye. Alright. So there was GIMP. Here it is. So I want to open a project. I want to open a file. Isn't it this down here? No. I remember everything was right click everything. Not just tool options. Where is it? Have you seen what Node Modules does to your disk space? Oh, shoot, that's right. Hang on a second. We did this project yesterday, and it's got a... Didn't we have a massive Node Modules folder here? Oh, no, we already deleted that. All right. Let me stay over here. Okay. Shoot, I forget. Right, blame JavaScript. Absolutely. Shoot, where's the open button here in GIMP? I forget how to open new projects. How to open files. Right? That's just the tools options. I thought there was a window that came with this also. An initial window. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I knew it was hiding somewhere. Alright, so we're going to open... Where's the little train? There we go. So now I'm going to start to slice this up. Slice and dice. Come here, you. Give me that train. I don't think I got the first couple pixels there. Right? Yeah, I cut off the front of the train. Rats. I could just maximize this. No. Zoom back out. Alright. Oh my gosh, that mouse is so painful. That's where I want it. Right there. Good. Oh, okay, sure. don't want it. I don't want a background. Get rid of that. I want a transparent layer there. I don't care. Okay, so there's there's the train. Right? Whoa, holy crow, did you see that? All of a sudden I've got like my mouse back. Windows menu options, single window mode. I actually like the multiple windows. So let's see, let's cut this here, right, so it stops right at the edge of that. All right, where's it? Crop, image, crop the selection, there it is. Fantastic. All right, so let's save this. No, it's not an XCF. We're gonna change that extension. Let's make this, I want to make it a PNG, actually. And I don't want to put it in my documents folder. I want to put it down over here with, in the Pixelbot project. This is one of these standard features. It's a screen widget. Oh, this is going to be coming in with a dub. Because it's an image. So we're going to need to create a dub folder here. Right, with all of our static content. We're going to need to create another folder in here. Let's call this just IMG. And I'll call this user activity train. And I will name this now, train1.png, because it's the first, right? What do you mean it cannot be used? Use export to use other file formats. Fine. That's not where I want to be. All right, down here, there, here, that, and we'll call this train 1. How's that? Are we going to do animated GIFs? We could. My name is Infi. Yeah, you're right. I made a mistake. You're right. Export. Good. All right, so now we have the train part. So it's 261 by 320, right? It's 320 high. Yeah, 320 high. Which is the same height that the original is here. So now let's just... Right, let's just start copying some of... Ah, come on! Nope, missed it. Right, because I'm going to get the little train. Cool. So it's 320. I don't want the width to be that far. How wide is my selection? 132. So let's make the width here 135. No! All right. Advanced options. Yes, please. I want a transparent background. Fill with transparency. That sounds weird. Fill with transparency. But trust me, it's the right thing to do. There we go. Export. Really? You're going to put me in that other cheesy location every time here? Alright. Standard features. Dub root. Image. Train. And we will call this... Ow. Control-Shift-E is what we need. Okay. So we'll call this train 2. Cool. Alright, so there's that one. The image has been exported to. Great. Go away. So let's get the blue car. And maybe at some point we'll make some additional cars here as well that are different colors. But I just want to get an initial behavior for this built. There we go. Right, and it is 130 pixels. We're going to make it 135. I'm going to run into an issue where these aren't quite connected. Right, because they need to go right up to the edges of that. We'll fix that in post. All right, so there's the third car. Yep, do that. And we'll get the last car here. No, I don't want. I want to be on that tool. Let's see if we can just grab the last car here. You know what I could do? I could just grab the previous car. You know what? I don't need to grab that. I can just fill the other cars with whatever color I want, don't I? And that'll be discard changes. Discard changes. Cool. All right. So now I have trains. I have trains. Dub. Absolutely. Ashuria asks, what's the hardest program I successfully made by myself? Oh my goodness. Just by myself. I was the only one that wrote it. I don't think I've ever built something successfully by myself that I've published or shared with anyone. I've always worked on teams with folks. Oh yeah, we can do things with passenger trains, other things. Absolutely. I'm just trying to get some initial images here that we can work with Brave Cobra. But to assure you, there's nothing that the most complex thing that I've built, maybe the Fritz bot you see here in the chat room is something that I built by myself. But even then, I took open source contributions on. So that's a thing, that I was working on. So here you go. The follower train stopped after almost 19 minutes because we didn't get another follower. That's kind of neat. Earl de Taiga, thanks so much for the follow. Appreciate you joining us. And you've kicked off another follower train there. That's pretty cool. I like seeing that. That's neat. But it's going to be really cool when we have a little train that wanders back and forth here on the thing, in the UI. 0x Valley asks, how does C# run on Linux? Isn't the .NET platform Windows only? No, actually it's not. King of Tomorrow, thank you for the follow, and we put you on the follower train there, extending it to 2 cars. So 0x Valley, this is .NET Core. This is a new version of .NET that's been forked from the original .NET framework and will run on any operating system. Windows, Mac, Linux. It'll run on ARM operating systems, and it'll run in IoT devices. It'll run in the cloud. It'll run on the next version, the .NET Core 5. Well, no, .NET 5 version is actually going to also run on iOS and Android. You're going to have one .NET that'll run everywhere. It's really great stuff, and it's completely open source. 0x Valley, so it's something that if you haven't seen, I encourage you to check out because it just works everywhere. Sneaky Gamer, thank you for the follow. We can add labels to the cars for the followers. Oh yeah, all kinds of neat stuff. Hey, welcome, Sneaky Gamer. I appreciate your follow. And I'm trying to keep an eye. Folks are doing follows, unfollows here to get the train to work. So this number isn't entirely accurate, but we're closing in on another sticker pack giveaway. We do that at every 100 followers here. So I've got the trains checked in. Yeah, I can't wait to see this. So the availability of the .NET VM is essentially as large as the JVM. Yes, you can use it anywhere, just like Java. Absolutely. Don't forget Mono, says Twitch Loft. I've been running C# in production on Linux since 2012. Absolutely. Well, and that's what you're going to see with .NET 5 is because .NET Core is now open source and Mono is open source. We're going to see all the advantages of both of those virtual machines come together. And as a .NET developer, you'll be able to write one set of code, and depending on how and where you want to deploy, you can choose to pre-compile with Mono, or you can choose to do just-in-time compilation with the .NET Jitter and deploy to wherever you want. Maybe it makes sense to have your ASP.NET web application be ahead of time compiled with Mono. Maybe it does. Maybe there's some parts of your application it makes sense to do that Mono compilation. Sure, like the front door, the front page of your website, so that when your website first starts up, that first page that's requested is pre-compiled. Makes perfect sense. But maybe the rest of your application can be bootstrapped and just-in-time compiled afterwards. That's okay too. There's a whole world of options that start to open up when you look at the flexibility of bringing all those .NET runtimes and tools into one collective. And it's not just Microsoft that's going to be driving this. The folks at Mono, at Unity are going to be working on that. The Mono runtime and the Mono tools all being brought together means that everybody's going to get better tools because we're all working together to build that one ecosystem better. Assuria, well, we're going to be doing a giveaway when we hit 8,300 here. We'll see. It's a brand new world. It's really, really great stuff. When we get to 10,000 followers, we're going to have a 12-hour party. We're going to have guests. We're going to have, I've got some sponsors that are interested in doing a big giveaway for us. When I say big giveaway, I mean more than just stickers or hats. We're going to have some interesting things that we're going to do for that. Captain Reckham asks, have I ever tried Project Rider while working on Linux or Mac? No, I haven't. And it's something I should try at some point. You're quite right about that. Zero X Valley says, one really neat thing, they'll be able to run Java bytecode on the .NET platform, then C# wouldn't really kill legacy systems, but instead overtake it. So there's definitely something happening there, because when you think about it, Xamarin, you're building and you're compiling stuff that's going to interop with Java for Android. So there's possibilities there as we get into this mindshare, this thought space around bringing all of those runtimes together. What does that look like? Is there interop there that can happen and be productive for everybody? When that gets out and we can use those features not just to target Android but to target other Java runtimes, or to bring in, just like you can do with Xamarin for Android, bring in some of those Java-based tools into a .NET application. Now things get really interesting. Those are all things that are on the radar, that are out there. Considerations, I don't know. I'm not working directly with the engineering team, but I can tell you there's a lot of possibilities, and for at least the next year's roadmap for .NET 5, it's going to get really exciting. Z Lucian says, when publishing a new ASP Core 3 worker service, the default runtime was portable. What does that mean exactly? Good question. So when you're deploying .NET applications now, and I'm going to have to wrap up here because we're right at time, and I see some other folks starting up, and I want to raid over and support some of our other live coder friends. So to answer Z Lucian's question, let me come back over here to this view so we can see the question. When you publish a new project, a portable project means, just like with .NET Framework, you're assuming the older .NET Framework on Windows only, you're assuming that there's some runtime that's installed on the machine you're going to be deploying to. It's not necessarily deploying the things from .NET Core. You're assuming there's a shared runtime that's available on that other machine, and you can install that shared runtime using some of the deployment tools that are available from Microsoft. That's completely available to you. You can You can make that choice to install that on those operating systems. But maybe you don't have that. Maybe you're deploying to some place where they haven't installed .NET Core yet, and you want to be able to bring along what you need. So what you can do is the opposite of portable is the, what's it called? Oh my goodness, is the and it's not native. We're not getting to native yet. You can package, right? Oh my gosh, I can't remember. Right, self-contained. Thank you, Zlucian. You can package as self-contained, which will take just those things from the .NET Core framework and put them in the same folder as your application. So you're carrying along your self-contained with your framework that you need to run the application. It'll make the application significantly bigger because you're bringing along the .NET Core framework that you need and the runtime bits, but you'll have a complete package you can deploy to any operating system, regardless of the runtime that's there, that has everything you need. You're going to have to compile and specify exactly which operating system runtime you want to package in that self-contained package, but you can do that. Now there's additional options you can take there where you can, yes, you can start to link together actually 0x Valley. The linker is becoming available. They are working on this as something for .NET 5 so that you can link, you can trim, and you can put your application into one exe with the framework that it needs. This way you end up with a really small application, comparatively having the entire framework laying around. And it should run on those target operating systems. So there's lots of options there. Let me show you. So my colleague, Scott Hanselman, small .NET Core applications. Let me find this blog post and I will share this with you. Creating a small self-contained application. I think this is it. Now there's another one that he did after this that's a little bit bigger, a little bit better, where he was explaining this. Oh, there it was. There it was. Hang on. And they're using the mono linker to do this. Yeah. Yeah. So this was an experiment that Scott did. Let's see if it can copy and paste this over here. Nope.
Oh my.
Still not copying it out. Trim slim. Oh yeah. Right. So you can, let me change over and show you this. So this is making a tiny .NET Core 3 entirely self-contained single executable. Really, really neat stuff. I can't copy the URL there, but you can grab this and take a look. But this is a series of arguments you put into your project file that will trim things down and get you a really, really small. So he's saying publish trimmed, publish as ready to run, which means do the just-in-time compilation now for the Win64 runtime identifier and make it a single file. So he gets that down to 13 megs from an initial size of the application. Hello World app has 70 megabytes, and he gets it trimmed down to 13. And these are experiments, right? This is beta stuff we're looking at now. There's more that they can trim and work on here that's going to make it better. Okay? So take a look at the blog post. There's some really great stuff there where you're going to see making things smaller, faster, and much more competitive with other stacks. All right, I am going to commit my source code here. Let's do a git status real quick. There we go. Yep, some of our new stuff with our dub root, our user activity train layout. So let me add all those new things. Let me commit the updates, and we're going to say starting work on train UI. Right, and I'm sorry I didn't get too much further in here, but I think we had some really good questions that we were able to discuss and share here live on stream. This is just the beginning. Yep, We're going to start putting things onto that train and making it much, much more interesting. Let's see. Who's streaming out there that we can raid? You know what? He was here. I'm going to show some love to... If you want to continue watching and learning about Blazor, let's set up our raid, and we're going to raid our friend Ed Charbonneau. Go ahead and copy out the first line of that bot's comments right there. If you're a subscriber, so you can use the emotes, and we can say hey and announce our presence to our friend Ed. There we go. If you're not a follower, that's okay. Copy the second line of text here with the bombs, because we're gonna raid, we're gonna plunder, and announce our presence to our friend Ed Charbonneau. All right. So get ready, friends. Is he starting? Is he started? I think he started. Thank you for the follows. I appreciate some of those follows. There's Suavity and 162 Steve. Let's see here. I think Ed is... Yeah, there's an ad playing there before we get into it. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I'll be back on Sunday. We're going to do some more animations here. I'm going to create some more of these train images for us, and we're going to start to really animate this and make it happen. I'm going to do some other tuning and tweaking inside of here. All right? Friends, get ready to go say hi to our friend Ed Charbonneau. Why is my typing skills are not good? Thank you for the follow, Onion Burgers Shadow. I appreciate that. But you're catching me right at the end here. I hope you have a great day. And there we go. There's Ed. Let's set up that raid. We'll go see him in just a few seconds. Alright, friends. Take care, and I will see you Sunday. See ya.